Well, we got the plow all painted up here with the Duplicolor 1607 Chevy orange. I've used about 3 cans of paint on it. I really need another can to hit a couple more spots. And then we got to make the wear strip for the bottom, but that will be another day. So yeah, painting in the 40 degrees is a lot better than yesterday when it was 30 degrees. So that's cool. Some metal here at Tractor Supply. It's a 2-inch by 48 by 3/16, and I've clamped it onto the plow edge with the vice grip, and you can see how much this thing's worn down. It's supposed to be 1.5 inches wide, and on the edge it's really worn down. And what happens is when it wears down, you start rubbing on the underside of the plow, and we don't want that to happen. So I measured it up, and I'm just going to drill 5 holes in there and put 5 bolts in, and then we should be ready to go with this thing. All the holes drilled. It was actually really tough. I had a brand new set of good old Harbor Freight drill bits, which really suck, but this little 1/8 inch drilled 2 holes, and it was so dull it wouldn't do a thing. It's totally worthless. But anyways, I got it done. I had to use about 8 different size drill bits to get to a 5/16 on this crap. So I'm going to take this off and prep it for paint and give it a coat of primer. And then maybe tomorrow we can paint it and get it installed. All right, I got a coat of rusty metal primer on there. And we'll see what we got. But the plow's starting to look good. I think I used like 3.5 cans of rusty metal primer to paint the plow, and then I used the Duplicolor 1607 on it, which I did that last weekend. It's been sitting out here all week in the sun, like drying, and I'm pretty happy with the results here. So I'll get that wear strip on and we'll be ready to go. My old tripod broke, and I just picked up this one here. It's an Amazon Basics, and it's really heavy duty. Like a lot more than my old Walmart one was, and it comes with a nice little bag to put it in. So see if we can get some filming done with it. Okay, the next step on this plow here is that we got to bolt this wear strip, new wear strip, onto the old wear strip. And to do that, we're just going to use some 5/16 bolts. It's gotten really cold out today. And believe it or not, it's supposed to snow over here tomorrow. Sorry, Sunday and Monday. And they're calling for maybe 1 foot of snow. So we got to get this thing buttoned back up quick and get the snow fleet finished. Let's see. This is going to be nice when this thing's back together. I'll tell you that much. I chose to use 5/16 bolts for this. I thought they would be more than sufficient. Okay. That takes care of that side of it. I'll bring it out to the plow in the backyard. We'll hook up the rest. All right, let's see if we can get this wear strip hooked up. It's ridiculously windy out here. Let's see, I need a flat washer, a lock washer, I got a nylon nut. Those will go on each one of these bolts. You get the idea. All right, it's all hooked up now. This thing's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. So let's get the lift rod. See if I can find all those parts, and then we'll hook this sucker up. Lift arms on snow plows can be real temperamental, and they're always breaking and stuff like that. Let me show you what we got to deal with here. So I'm making a brand new lift arm, and the part that goes over the rod, you know, what happens often is that the cotter pin gets all mangled and crappy. So this one here rusted off. This is actually off an old mower deck. So I filed it smooth up here, and I'm going to take a punch and drive out what's left of the old pin that's busted in there, and then we should be good to go. Well, I can't find my punch, so I'm going to try using a finish nail, see if that works. See if we get lucky. Yep, I think we are. I can keep this from spinning in there. Ah, come on, don't spin. It was starting to go. Might be able to get some vice grips on the bottom and just yank it out. Might be an option too. Finding a place to hammer on this is kind of tricky. Let me try back here. Yeah, we'll get some vice grips and we'll try to hook onto the bottom there and see if we can yank it out at this point. All right, let's see. Probably just going to snap it off again. Let's see. It's coming. Try it this way. Get this thing a little tighter on there. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Just about out. Slipped off at the last minute here. Let me get this thing straightened up again. Let's see. There we go. Got it. So now I got to find a cotter pin or hitch pin to go in there, and we should be ready to put it back together. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You remember these new parts that I got from McMaster Car that I showed in another video? A new swivel bowl joint and 1/2-inch nut here. So let me take this nut off of here, and then what we got to do is put this 7-inch bolt into here. There we go. I'll put this nut back on. We'll snug it up. Let's see. Now, just to show you a little difference here, this is the original Gravely one. It has a split like collar on the back. The McMaster's one piece all the way around. It's much more heavy duty than the original Gravely one. So we're going to replace it with that, and just got to thread this bolt into the bottom here, and we'll put some back pressure on there, tighten that nut up against it. And I got a hitch pin that fits in here nicely, so we should be good up there. So let's see if we can't get the 3/4 inch wrench here and tighten that sucker up a little bit. Back this here up against the bottom of that. Let's see. Try something different here. Let me put this bottom part in the vise. It'd make more sense if I can put that in the vise and tighten a nut up against it. There we go. That should be good. All right, so we're ready to put this on the 8173B. So let's fire it up and drive it to the plow. right here. So let's see if we can get this lift rod hooked up underneath this tractor and see if we can't do that before we bring it over there. Now, I have two different IPLs on the snowplow. One says to put it in the top hole. The other says to put it in the second hole. I guess I'm going to try it in the top hole because that's what the older IPL says, and this is an older machine. So let me see if I can't get this pin out here and get that thing in there. So I'll put this up here like so, and then what we'll do is we'll put this pin on the other side. If it doesn't line up right, then we'll put it to the next hole up. I think it's all about where this is in relation to the bolt on the plow. So let's see what we got. All right, let's see if we can fire this puppy up and sit it for a week or so. There we go. I think the choke cable's sticking a little bit. Clutch is still working good. Brakes is running smooth. So I'll hook this turd up. See if we can drive right over the plow there. See, here's the plow over here. There you go. Get a little more straightened out approach. See what we got. Yeah, brackets are pretty close on the bottom there, so let's see how our lift rod is compared to where that ball is. Oh, it should be real good there. So let me get this thing hooked up on the back and we should be ready to roll. Okay, so here's the deal. I got the plow hooked up and it's way off from hitting the ball. So I'm going to move that lift lever up a little bit, a hole or two maybe, so it lines up. I conferred in the other plow, it does hook on the front and not on the back, so it's off maybe 2 inches. Put it in, and I actually had to put this in the 4th hole down. There's only 5 holes, and that means that when you pull up on the hydraulic lever, there's more stroke to it, so it's going to take longer to lift the plow than if it was back more. So let's fire it up and try to lift up the plow, and let's just see if it's good or not good. And it should bottom out against the front axle up here, so there's not really a ton of up and down to begin with, but that's where we're at here. And we do need to hook up the angle lever over here still. Let's do that as well. All right, so let's fire it up and pull back on a lever and we'll see what happens here. Give it some choke.